What's up, guys? Rob Kuhn here. And guess what? It is the $1 million cash game week at the Hustler. A $1 million buy-in game with a lot of action. And this hand is one of the most savage hands I've ever seen from Mr. Keating. Without any spoilers, let's get in the action.
Let's get it. You gonna end the story there?
Well, I wanted to see what he did. So, he said I had a poker player in my band last week in Morgantown. Oh, hey, who was it? The guy says Phil Ivey. Phil Ivey wasn't in Morgantown, man. What are you talking about? I called Phil. He's like, yeah, I was visiting my uncle. That was pretty unbelievable.
26?
But then we go and there's tailgating festivities in Morgantown, and
Cooler in progress.
Walking in, and a little kid with a mullet, about 10 years old, walks up to Steve Danneman. It was just after his meeting. So are you Steve Danneman? Yes, I am. He goes, you can't win worth shit.
Eating, tagging.
Okay, let's talk about pre-flop first. Action opens with pocket jacks to 6,000 and playing 1,000 with a 2,000 big blind ante. Pocket jacks opens. Keating goes for the call with queen 10 off in the cutoff. A little bit of a light call. Jack with pocket queens in the small blind 3-bets to 26,000, which is really small at this stack depth. Definitely want to be 3-betting bigger. Peter goes for the call, which is definitely the standard play. Keating goes for the overcall because he's Keating. He's not much of a folder. He's also in position. Let's see what happens.
Long with queen 10 offsuit against queens and jacks. Peter has jacks. Jack has queens.
What happened? Yeah.
Keating has air.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, he's a poker and someone just names the most famous player they know. You're like, yeah, right. Like, sure you did.
Jack bets 35. Peter calls. And Keating gets creative with the 3%er. 200 large.
180?
Or 180 large.
180.
Most players would like to have some sort of draw when they do this. Not that man. He doesn't care. Not a fun spot for Jack. Two more betting streets to come. Table has gone silent, which is appropriate. The pocket's over 300K.
Call.
Jack passes this test.
180.
You got it.
On the 7-6-4 2 diamond board, Jack bets 35,000 into, I believe, 81,000. Peter goes for the call. Keating bumps it up to 180,000. Why? Why not? It's actually not the worst hand in the world to raise the flop with. You do have backdoor straight draws. You do have potentially an over with a queen. Usually the 10's not going to be an over, but potentially, you know, a queen or a 10 could be good. Backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. You know, I'm not going to go ahead and justify this and say this is the best play I've ever seen in my life, but you do want block ace highs and stuff like that. When both players call, though, you're fucked. That's just all there is to it. You're fucked. Anyway, let's take a turn.
We have about $500,000 in the middle now, with Peter still to act.
I thought Peter already called. Spoiler alert, Peter calls.
All of these guys hate folding.
Your story got
Peter calls as well. 621K in the middle as we head to the turn. Another flush draw available now. Have to believe Jack will be checking here, you would think. Odd to call the raise and then lead on a brick.
Check.
There's the check. Peter checks as well. Time to shut it down, Keating. Even if you can get Jack to fold, Peter's gonna look you up.
On the deuce of spades turn, Keating goes for the check, and basically he's saying, I'm giving up, or I have something like a flush draw, maybe a hand like 8-9 suited. The thing is, he has an awkward stack size. You know, if he has a flush draw, he doesn't really want to just shove. He would rather just take a free card because he is in position. If he has a hand like 8-9, or maybe a hand like, I don't know, 5x suited or something like that, like some kind of combo draw, you definitely want to check, try to realize your equity. The ace of diamonds is a very interesting card, so let's go ahead and see what happens.
Interesting card here. The flush draw comes in. There's now an overcard out there to the queens and jacks.
Check.
Keating has just over pot behind. How sick is the man in the 8th seat?
Come on.
All in.
Oh my God.
Play of the night thus far. Will it work? Jack's thinking worst river card possible.
Okay, this hand has just got unhinged so quickly. Keating on basically every street did not have to do what he's done, but this is why we love him, you know. What is he saying he has? He's basically saying, I have a hand like ace-7 that raised the flop. You know, maybe he's seeing where he's at and then checking back, and now I have 2 pair. I have a flush, which is very, very well possible. He can certainly have a flush here. Or I have just air. Queen 10 definitely is just air in this situation. And now queens and jacks are just put in the blender. Because, like, how can you really call here? You know, it like doesn't, I don't know. Of course, you know, Keating's story, like the ace shouldn't hit him. It is the ace of diamonds. Like that's, you know, that's a really bad ace because now it takes away his ace x of diamonds combos. So yes, he has the 10 of diamonds in his hand. Maybe he has a hand like, you know, king jack of diamonds or something like that. He raised the flop, he rivered the flush, rivered the nuts, and then, you know, shoves. But his story doesn't tell a whole lot here. But, of course, he can have many flushes in his range and or air. Let's see what the other players do.
Pot is over $1 million. A ridiculously tough spot here for Jack.
Jack with the player behind, I feel like he just has to fold. Like very easy. I feel like this should just go fold.
That man just bluffed off his stack and is 0% nervous. Can Jack somehow find the call? He's got to worry about Peter as well. World-class shove by Keating. Can either Jack or Peter find the world-class call? Jack's
Okay, I
gone.
believe you.
Peter studying his opponent.
Before we see what Peter does, I have to ask you guys a question. Our sub to view ratio is so low, it hurts me every time I upload a video. If you guys could do me a favor, go in the comment section, post a comment, like, subscribe. It would really help the algorithm. Let's see what Peter does.
To have a lot of history, but it wasn't a heads-up pot, which makes this
Having no diamond
stronger
here is a really
from
bad
Keating.
thing.
He'd have to be crazy to be bluffing into two opponents. That's what Peter's thinking right now. The game will be far out of the muck, regardless of what Peter does here. Hero call or fold. Looks like Keating might
That
get
looks
it
like
through.
a fold. I feel like no one ever calls when they do that.
Maybe not. Peter trying to get a live read on a player who's unreadable. This would be an unbelievable call. Torture for that man. Can he get it through?
No games today? Oh, did you say Denver first? Yeah. There's games, but like today's Miami, Cleveland, and the worst game. Sorry, next maybe? Last year.
Oh my God, what a hand. He wants to fold, he wants to call.
Give Peter credit for thinking this long. There's the call. Unbelievable. Won $5 million last year in the $1 Million Game. Wins over $1 million in this hand.
Peter makes the insane, absolutely god tier call. Soul reads Keating. You know what? It was a good bluff by Keating. You got to give him credit on the bluff. Peter just, you know, between the rivalry, he's a tough man to bluff. I think Keating ends up, I don't know if he ended up on this session, but like 3 hands later, he has like 2 million. He's already back to, He was stuck $1 million, back up over 200K or something. But I'm going to be recording these videos all throughout the week. So hopefully you guys like these videos. Much love.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my